The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Lorient's sporting director Laurent Koscielny has made it clear he wants to tie reported Pompey target Bamba Dieng down to a new contract. The news comes just as Pompey, along with Oxford United, Blackburn Rovers and Leicester City, were linked with a move for the striker on Saturday. With the summer transfer window less than a month away, the rumour mill is already in full swing as clubs begin planning for a crucial period, and Fratton Park is no exception. The Blues were named among a host of English and European clubs supposedly interested in the 26-year-old, who has been on fire in France's top flight. According to Football Insider's Pete O'Rourke, John Mousinho's side is chasing Dieng, but they face stiff competition from Championship rivals Blackburn and the recently relegated Leicester City and Oxford United. The interest doesn't stop there, with German side St. Pauli and Spanish club Real Betis also said to be in the hunt, with some reports from Spain even suggesting Betis are the current favourites. It's no wonder he's in demand. The 21-cap Senegal international is having the season of his life, bagging an impressive 15 goals in 22 appearances across all competitions. His goals have been the driving force behind Lorient's recent climb up the League One table, with 9 of those coming in his last 14 league games. However, with his contract up at the end of the season, Dieng's future is up in the air amid all this new interest. That's why the former Arsenal defender Koscielny has publicly stated his intention to offer the striker fresh terms, especially with his stock so high. "We'll try to extend his contract," Koscielny recently told French outlet Le Telegram. "That doesn't mean we'll succeed, it also depends on what we're capable of offering. If we can agree on a joint project spanning a few years, it will be with great pleasure." This is a big turnaround from 12 months ago, when Dieng tried to force a move away from Lorient, and was left out of their first 3 matchday squads as a result. Dieng came up through the ranks at Marseille, bursting onto the scene in 2021 when he scored on his debut in a Coupe de France win over Auxerre. He went on to play 54 times for the first team, scoring 11 goals and adding 5 assists. In January 2023, he made a €10 million, £8.6 million move to Lorient, where he's found the net 22 times in 56 games. Now, with his 3.5-year stay seemingly coming to an end, Pompey are just one of many clubs reportedly on his trail.
John Mousinho on that injury to Joseph Bursic.
Joe's not in a good way. He felt his quad go on that first kick. It obviously wasn't a tactical change. He went down and had to come off right away. It happened on his first goal kick. He went long, and his thigh just went. I'd be stunned if he's back for the final game. My guess is he'll be out for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm absolutely gutted for Joe. He's been an excellent backup for us most of the season, and he's one of those guys who's frankly too good to be a number 2 in the championship. I really wanted to give him a shot on Saturday. It's a shame it didn't work out, but I thought Ben was excellent when he came on. He did really well, showing a lot of composure with the ball at his feet. After the first couple of kicks, he settled in, and his distribution was solid. Goalkeeping-wise, I can't remember him putting a foot wrong. He pulled off a fantastic save in the second half after Jojo's stray pass, couldn't do anything about the goal they scored, and just looked calm and composed the whole time. For Kilip, it was his first appearance in over 7 months, having last played in the home defeat to Sheffield Wednesday. When Schmid returned to fitness in November, Bursic became the new backup, and Kilip found himself left out of the squad for 29 consecutive championship matches. That was until Saturday, when he was brought on just 4 minutes in, marking only the 6th appearance of his 18-month career with the Blues. With the 30-year-old under contract until the summer of 2027, Mousinho acknowledged that Kilip may want to weigh his options this summer to find more consistent first-team football.
John Mousinho on the injury to Bursic. Goalkeepers, it goes without saying, are a case in point. You know, going back to the days when they wore green jerseys, or newspaper writers said that they were the man with the gloves. Going back to those days, England had 2 goalkeepers who were equally brilliant, Peter Shilton and Ray Clements. And so they simply used to box and cox them. Always seemed odd to a great many football fans. Surely one of them should be told he is the best, but then it was a difficult decision to make which one would have got the gloves on a regular basis, so they box and cox them. Is there an argument that Pompey can do that? Obviously there isn't, otherwise John Mousinho, because he's not shy of trying out new things, would have given it a go. The complication for him, though, as a manager, is in this case, and this has been mentioned before on Pompey Sound, that Toby Stewart is due back from his Highlands adventure any time now. They won the championship. He's coming back with a winner's medal, and he will be eyeing up, surely, at the very least, being on the bench.
Even when I first went to Croatia, I was immediately looking at the senior team. No matter what position I'm in, I'm always going to push myself. I said months and months ago, when people said I won't get near the side, I felt I could push for it. I can now start saying to people I can do it, and I back myself to do it. People will say I can't do it, but I back myself and believe I can. Of course I can do it. I'd back myself to play at any level. I've shown I can do it at times this season. I believe in myself and I know I can do it. I said last week it would be good for me to get double digits next season, but now I've done it this season. I guess I just have to keep going and try to beat whatever I do this season. I'll need to add to it next season.
Adrian SEGGS on his predictable determination to do even better next season than he has this season, and he's had a good season. There's a statistic about Adrian SEGGS, which when we broadcast it at the time, and this is going back quite a ways, seemed wrong. And that is that he has far more shots on goal than he does telling passes in the other team's back third. In other words, is he a number 10? We need a number 10. We've got a number 10 in Connor Chaplin. We might not be able to keep him, but we've got him at the minute. But if he goes, then what on earth is John Messina going to do? Either buy a new number 10 or work with Adrian SEGGS so that not only does he score goals, he also contributes assists that are more than just set pieces. I think the 3 assists that he's got in the last 3 or 4 games have all been corner kicks of his, and they're good corners. But I think we want somebody who, if he's going to play as a number 10, to be able to thread the ball through the defence from time to time and give people something to run onto. Whether he can do that or not, time will tell. Fingers crossed, as ever. John Messina is asked, is it all about increased spending next season?
Yes, increased spending is the obvious answer, and what everyone goes back to. I think we can definitely do that, but it's about getting to a level where everyone's comfortable and will work for us. We can't say all of a sudden we are going to spend £40 million this summer. It's just not going to happen. But can we up those £1 million, £1.5 million transfer fees? Can we up those? Can we get to the levels where we can get established championship players with less risk in the equation? There will always be risk. Look at clubs who've recruited over the past 2 windows. There's plenty of players who fall into that £2 million, £5 million category that haven't gone right. But some clubs can do 2 of those, so it doesn't matter as much. We have to be astute and clever. We need to be right at the leading edge of everything to get it right. I do think we can go in that direction, and I do think we can get there. But it's about supporting that with evidence of how we are going to progress these players, how they fit in the side, and if one player in that category is going to bolster the side, or do we need to do 4 or 5? So then we are looking at significant figures in terms of the spend and also the wage budget. It's a long conversation, and it's one we're going to have. Hopefully we come out the other end and we get things right. But it's not just as simple as saying we're going to spend and that is going to be the silver bullet to change all of our fortunes. If you look at the progression over the 2 years in the championship, the summer we came up, we spent just over £1 million in terms of transfer fees. We took a lot of players who we thought could have high potential for relatively low fees, a couple of frees, and then bolstered the squad with loan signings. We then took Hayden Matthews in January for about £1 million, £1.2 million. Then last summer increased the transfer budget. The transfer budget was about 4 times what it was the previous summer, and we increased the playing budget, with about a 30 to 40% increase. Unfortunately for us though, for a variety of factors, not least the 3 clubs coming up from League One doing what they did in terms of spending, all of a sudden our increased budget wasn't a relative increase. It may have actually been a decrease. I'm not sure how you properly quantify that, but that's how it felt in that moment. So when ourselves, Derby and Oxford, came up from League One, there were 3 sides who didn't spend a huge amount who were battling at the bottom of the league. This year we've been competing against the likes Leicester, West Brom and Blackburn at the bottom of the league. That's difficult in itself.